All right, everybody. I did post that video yesterday, and if you're watching this and the video quality is not too good, it don't matter because my face is not where it's at. It's really the story that I'm about to tell you. So I complained a lot, maybe whined a little bit in my video. Some people might think I'm belly aching. I got 4 whole views, so I'm setting the world on fire. But what I wanted to share with you is what Jeep you can expect from Jeep customer care if you need to be cared for. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll skip through some of this. It's kind of probably a 40-minute conversation. We'll try to bounce through it. I want you to basically hear from their own lips, their policies, their actions, what you can expect. It's not me making this up because that's why I went and did this. It's not me talking. It's me asking a bunch of questions and me getting the truth. So if you're ready to go, let's rock. So that's me on hold. Let's skip through this. I've been on hold now for about an hour.
This is Ronnie Mae, and to whom do I have the pleasure of speaking with today?
Well, Ronnie Mae, after being on hold for 50.
All right, so we're just going to go ahead and skip through all this part. This is just her getting my case number and whatnot.
3 minutes.
For that. The information here on your case.
Well, here's what I'm going to ask you to do. You need to start at the very top, and I want you to scan through this case because I've got a series of questions to ask you because I'm trying to get some information, right?
And I want to make that really clear. I'm not out to roast her. I'm really not, right? She's just somebody in India that got up and trying to go to work, put food in her mouth or her kids' mouths, and I get it, right? I'm not trying to put her on a stick and light her on and piss gasoline on her and light her on fire. But what I'm really getting tired of is the absolute blatant no accountability. I really don't have words to describe the dirty feeling you have when you get off the call with Jeep customer care. And basically, I know she's probably gone through their training program to deal with jackasses like me. So, but you're going to enjoy this one. I really just stick around, bear with me, and you know what? And that way, you know exactly what you're going to get when you call Jeep the next time you got to call Jeep.
I need you to provide information to me, and then when we all said and done, we can move along, right? I can get off the phone with you.
Yes.
Are we good?
That is correct. Yes, that is correct.
Please put me on.
Let me just all right, for a second, please.
All right, so she puts me on hold, and we're going to skip to basically 12 minutes later. So here we go, 11, still on hold. 13 minutes. Here we go.
I'm aware of that. You have got where.
All right.
Hello, Mr. John. Thank you for waiting on the line. Mr. John, just to be sure that your concern is mainly about the reimbursement request
No, man.
for the vehicle.
Hang on. We're at a point now where I'm making notes. I have requested transcript for this case. So I'm going to ask you some questions. I just want some answers, right? Because your customer service,
All right.
your only job, I don't do anything. I'm aware of that. You have no power to do anything for me other than raise a request. Is that correct?
Yes, that is right.
Thank you. But you can answer questions. So can you tell me when this case was opened?
Oh, sure thing. Let me just get this. The case was opened, the very first time that the case was opened. As for checking here on our end, the case was opened last July 5, 2024.
July 5.
Okay, great.
Crazy.
So, and what's today's date?
It's
Technically, that was just July 5. If you, it actually started end of May. I just happened to open the case July 5 because I figured, as you'll hear later on, this case is related to an earlier case, the New Mexico incident. And, I wanted to basically look that up and have a continuation of it. So, but we're not going to go down that road just yet. We're going to, let her answer.
January 9, 2025 already.
Where's my Jeep located?
Yeah, where is that Jeep?
As per these,
For all you don't know, if you didn't watch the other video, my ass is sitting here in my cousin's living or dining room table making this video in Houston, Texas. So it has been, it started out as interesting and it's just turned into exile. So, It's not their fault, but he's probably getting sick of me just living in his house. Anyway, let's get back to it. So my Jeep's in Flagstaff. I'm in Texas.
We can locate the Jeep unless it's still in the dealership.
Still at the dealership.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. So my question to you, what is that? This case has been going well over 6 months, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Awesome. And of course, when I was in Nevada, are there any notes in the case when I was back in Las Vegas, Nevada, where I took my Jeep to the dealership 7 to 9 times?
Oh yeah, listen to this one. She actually tells me the dealership said it was all fixed.
And complained about overheating, loss of coolant, issues with the Jeep. And then what did Jeep customer care do for me at that point?
As per checking all of the information here is that the dealership is saying that they already fixed the issue.
Already fixed the issue.
On your end once the Jeep is back from your end.
I mean, keep in mind, that's what the Jeep dealer told them. They fixed the issue. That's not what they just told me. It's like Jeep customer care and John Miller got the same info from the Jeep. Like it's corroborated.
But here, okay, so you didn't, I can take it you didn't read the entire case word for word. So the Las Vegas dealership never fixed the problems. They said they couldn't fix it. It wasn't. They told me that my Jeep was fine, and I was just trying to get you to tell me.
What no problem?
Record, but it doesn't. Maybe that's not in the record. But I know that but you know for a fact, correct, that my Jeep blew up in Flagstaff, Arizona. I took it to the dealership. Has anything been?
And I want to point out, not to hit on the New Mexico incident, but that was a DEF incident, which, if you watch the other video, it left me stranded on a mountain in limp mode, 1.5 hours, east of Albuquerque, trying to get there so I could save my soul. And, they said, don't worry. At that point, they went through it. I don't know what they did. They didn't charge me a lot of money. They made some restitution to me. And, and I got pissed, but we got over it. And, so that's to make sure that we have it in context. So there is an existing issue. And now, Las Vegas, there's an overheating and, power loss issue along with a few other things. And then now in Flagstaff, we're at a full-blown catastrophic DEF failure.
Covered under warranty?
Oh, yeah, I love this one.
Oh, let me just check it here.
Yeah, let me look at that. A lot of reading, a lot of ink.
After checking, the case manager mentioned here that it is not under the Jeep warranty, but
of course not.
Warranty.
I don't need to go all the way through it. So, okay, fine. So here's what I know. I paid $2,300 on Las Vegas to go to a Jeep dealership. Your dealer. I'm going to say your dealership, ma'am. Your company's dealership, right? It is your dealer. I mean, I know that you don't own it, but they're in your franchise network. And they are obligated to fix vehicles per Jeep specification. Is that correct?
Yes, that is right.
Awesome. So I paid them for a DEF injector. That was $1,500 US. And I also paid them another $1,000-some in there to deal with the overheating and the loss of power. And I told them July 19th, I will be going to see family in Houston, Texas. Man, there's 1,100. More like 1,500 miles from Las Vegas to Houston, Texas. There's a lot of empty country. I said, I do not want a repeat of the New Mexico incident because you realize, and I don't know if you've actually gone all the way back to the case, but you'll notice that in 2023, this is a continuation of that incident with the same problems with the DEF system. Do you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I still.
So we get, what do they tell me? No problem, Mr. Miller. And I just want to know if you see any of this in this case because I want Jeep to fully understand my position, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I get out to Flagstaff. The Jeep blows up an hour east of Flagstaff in the desert. Okay, no problem. Took me. I was out there for hours. Finally got my Jeep to a Jeep dealer, and guess what? I'm just going to wrap it up because I don't want to keep you all day. At the end of the day, I've paid $9,000, right? I paid full price. No one gave me a discount. No one did me any favors. They gave me the full bill. And how long has my Jeep been there?
Full bill. But you know, in the Navy, being an ex-submarine sailor, we had a saying called bohica. Do you know what bohica means, Mr. Internet? It means, or Jeep corporate, it means bend over, here it comes again. That's basically doing naughty things to me and we're not even on a first name basis. No consideration. The only thing I got was a small military discount. Thank you for your service, Mr. Miller. Here's your big fat bill. And here's what I got for it.
It's been 6 months already.
6.
Okay, is that Jeep's policy? So they can charge customers full rate, labor, parts, everything, and the Jeep dealer just gets to fix it whenever they get around to it?
If the vehicle is still on the warranty, then you are not required to pay for anything.
And see, that's that's one of the things that just pushes me over the edge. I get it that the warranty I bought is worthless. It's not written on it's not worth the toilet paper it's written on. I mean, like I said, if the engine blew up in the Jeep, they'd replace the engine. But holy crap, if it's that DEF system, sensors, any of the other crap, sorry, Mr. Miller, you're going to just bleed. And you're going to pay us. And that's what this whole saga for 2024 has been, is just paying Jeep. And but you figure if you pay top dollar, if you bend over and pay the money that you don't have to Jeep, that someone's going to stand up, man up, and basically say, hey, we recognize that we charge top dollar. We're going to give you some top dollar service. And right now we're kind of stuck on that. The question is, did John get top dollar?
But you're missing the point, and I think Jeep's missing the point. You know, I have a list of demands, and we'll get to those in a minute. But what I'm getting to you is, if you expected me and the Jeep family to pay full price for repairs, right? Ma'am, I don't know. Do you have $9,000 in your wallet right now? Because I don't.
No, I don't have to.
Yeah, nobody does. I paid $11,500 in 2024 for Jeep repairs. I paid the $2,300 or $2,500 up front so that this incident wouldn't happen. And then they told me, don't worry, Mr. Miller. And then basically I got out. I got out to Flagstaff, Arizona, heading to Texas, and guess what? It became a problem. The Jeep blew up. So that $2,500 I spent there was for nothing, right? And then It's another $9,000. 6 months later, $9,000, and the saga is still happening. And you know what really is upsetting? The parts I bought in Vegas. When I got to Flagstaff, Arizona, they said, "Oh,
pay attention to this one. This one, you can't make this shit up. Just go right here."
Mr. Miller, that part's bad. We're going to charge you another one."
Yeah.
To which I told the Jeep dealership in Flagstaff, Arizona, Planet Jeep, I said, "I don't think so, Cupcake, because I just bought that 4 weeks ago." And they go, "Oh, okay. Well, it's under warranty. We're going to replace it anyway." Okay, fine. Do your thing. Weeks go by. DEF system, the filter, weeks go by. Couldn't get one. Jeep didn't make any parts. So I'm going to, in summation, what I'm trying to tell you is I paid $11,500 this year, right? And you guys have held my vehicle for 6 months, and you're still holding it. Okay? That's the point. So I'm going to ask you, is that Jeep's policy to not compensate their customers and hold their property?
No, it's not Jeep's policy. We must compensate for all of the inconveniences that we've made or happened to the customer.
Look in the record, and tell me, have I made it clear what I expect from Jeep? I mean, we're talking this week, right? I've just really gotten to the point where I'm not playing around anymore. And
And to have a compensation for all of the inconveniences that
Yeah, but I want you
experienced.
to tell me in the record, read them off to me one by one. There's 4 of them. And if you don't, and if they're not in there, man, I need you to take some action and make sure that they're.
And that's something you really need to focus on when you're dealing with these barons, robber barons, is that, you know what, if it's not in writing, it doesn't exist. In fact, I've asked for a transcript of this case, and they've basically rigged it to where I can't get one. I have to go to higher authority, and as you'll see later in this call, there's no way to get to higher authority. So I've basically asked her, for the compensation for the time, to ship my Jeep back, to pay for, the time for the loss of property, and, basically to pay up my expenses. And we're trying to get through this real quick so we can move on to the next section.
Each bullet point. If the Jeep dealer in Las Vegas would have done their job right, do you think I'd be in this position currently?
Do you think?
No.
No.
Exactly. So that's the point. So I want some compensation for that $11,500 in repairs I've spent. That is literally 1/5 the value of the vehicle. And guess what, ma'am? My vehicle's a 2021. It's brand friggin' new.
Yes, that is right.
Okay. The only reason we're not doing the lemon law is what? Because in the United States, they say that your Jeep needs to be within 2 years or 24,000 miles. Great. So I can't do that. But you know what? We're going to circle right back around to the dollar amount. If the $11,500 was paid out, do you think that I should get my property back in a reasonable amount of time? And what I mean by time is a couple weeks, 3 weeks, customers get angry, 4 weeks, we're grumbling louder. But when you hold someone's property for 6 months and you're still holding it, right? Is that a yes?
No, it's not. It's not right. Definitely not.
Are you still holding my property?
As for checking here, it's still with the dealership.
Thank you. Okay.
And that is what.
We're just going to move along. Okay, great. So that's why. That's why compensation needs to be paid out. My Jeep was fixed. Oh, well, hang on. Let's get back. So the second thing, how about all the Jeep payments I made and the insurance payments I made for the entire time you've held it? You know what? I'll give you a month. I'll give you 30 days. Hell, at this point, I'll even be generous and give you 60 days, right? Because maybe you couldn't get that part because it had to be manufactured somewhere in Italy. Fine. But what about 6 months and counting? 7 months, if you want to add up the entire case. What about that? See, that's another thing. Compensate for the payments. And then the only thing, look in the record, the only thing that Jeep has told me they're going to compensate me for is what? Guaranteed.
As per checking here, the amount that they can reimburse is like $1,182.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken about it.
No, you're fine. I mean, because that was for the car rental. But, what about the gas and the hotel? See,
and this is what really drives me crazy, So you talked to the case manager like months and months ago when she was talking to me. And oh, by the way, the only thing we're going to give you, Mr. Miller, for basically us being horrible to you is an incompetent and having no accountability. And I mean, as you listen to the rest of this call, I'm not making this up. It is. You can make your own judgment. I didn't force her to say. I just asked the questions. She answered the questions. And it goes something like this, I wanted the rest of the expenses. I think I'm up about $2,300 tops, so I got the rental car. They'll do that. The case manager can do that. But if I want the hotel and the fuel, well, I got to go to another Mopar department. To which, what did Mr. Miller do? Well, shit, I got nothing better to do. I can't go anywhere. So I call up the Mopar department, and then the Mopar department sends me back to her. She sends me back to Mopar. I'm going back to her. And it's just basically the rabbit running around a tree, back down the hole, up around the tree again. And here you go.
There's a lot of things missing here. No compensation for the repair bill. No compensation for the loss of property. And I want to make, do you have this written down?
Yeah, I've written down the two about the first one that you mentioned. Is
let's get through this.
Missed compensation for 3 things. Submitted Atari woman.
Here you go. So this is
which
I was
Jeep
talking.
did say that they were going to do, because that ship is just $9,000.
Here you
I'm
go.
going to give you that right now. So let's focus on that. Second one, loss of property. Third one, how about giving me my expenses back that I submitted receipts for? And that means the rental car, which Jeep did say that they were going to do, because that's in the record. But they didn't, you know what they told me? You know, you want the hotel and fuel bill, you got to go to Mopar. Do you know what Mopar did?
Hang on. I think my screen dropped on me. Hopefully this kept going and it kept recording. Let's get back to it.
Mopar sent me back to that Atari woman. You know, and she's the one that sent me to Mopar. Mopar sent me back to her. I mean, is that Jeep's policy to run their customers around the tree?
No, that is not.
It's not their policy.
Okay, right.
So we've got a lot of no's so far. I mean, like, Jeep's not supposed to be doing this, but they're doing it. And so let's just get down to brass tacks. I've called in every day. You want to know why? Mm-hmm. If you go through the record, how many times has Jeep contacted me over a 6-month period?
And I want to be fair, that's probably not a good question to ask her. She's going to have to go back with a magnifying glass and read through all that. So what I did is I basically made it from December 20th because that's less reading for her.
That one's going to be a hard one to answer. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. I can make it easier. You want to talk about the last week? Since Christmas. Let's just do it. Since December 20th, how many times has Jeep reached out to me to say, we got you, Mr. Miller. We're handling things.
We love you.
It seems like they're still not reaching out to you since before the Christmas.
They're still not reaching out to you. Oh, really?
As I check here on our end.
Yeah. Is that Jeep's policy?
Yeah.
No, they must also update you with regards to...
Wait a minute. Jeep is in violation of Jeep policy? Oh, my God.
The update for the vehicle.
Well, I'm not trying to cut you off. I'm just so we've got we're not supposed to run people around the tree. No, we should be compensating. No, that this is not how you treat your customers. And so I'm going to make this real simple. I called in. I got a Jeep survey sent to me, an email, and the reason I'm going to tell you this is because I need you to answer this question. So, is there anybody to talk to you? Is you got a manager there I can talk to?
Let me just
that will literally walk.
check
and I'm not talking escalating to somebody because I'm just going to get to the point. I'm told that you're it. There's nobody beside you. When you talk to the case manager, it's the case manager. That's it. There's no other person in the universe that I can talk to. And then finally, I actually got this case escalated, but then again, that hits a brick wall because no one's talking to me. Does that sound...
Yeah.
Am I making that up, or is that really the case?
There must be a case manager, or when the case has already been transferred to the right department, they must be able to update you with every update that needed for the vehicle,
right,
for your concern.
Excuse me, but you're missing the point, man. If they're not doing their job, who do I call? Is there anybody to get a hold of?
For this, if the case manager provided the contact information that you can call them back, that will be the only time that you can reach them out.
Okay, so
since they will be the one that will be handling the case for.
And so what we're really trying to get here is, and she's going to come out and say it in a minute, but she just keeps running around the tree, is that there is nobody to call. She's it. She's a gatekeeper. She escalates. She sends a little chitter chat message to somebody, and that's the end of it. And there's no penalty. And that's what I need you to listen to, Jeep Corporate. I need you to understand that you've basically engineered a system to where customers who are getting screwed like me can't get to you. You can take your sweet time. You don't have to do anything. And there's really just no repercussions. So the rest of us are just left swinging in the wind out here. And she's going to tell you that right here.
Ma'am, I've asked you, the case manager, when they're not doing their job, the only person to call is the case manager. Is that correct?
Yes, that is right.
The only
thank you.
person.
So basically, no one exists besides the case manager. They're the single focal for my issue. And so here's a little tidbit for you. I filled out a survey. I basically gave Jeep the worst score in the universe. And then somebody asked me the slip asked me if I wanted to call back. I checked the call back.
Yeah, and I apologize that this is a little long-winded, but you need to get through this part to understand what I just said.
I get a call. Do you know who it was? Turned out it was Jeep Corporate. Sandra. Do you see a name, Sandra?
Yeah, remember the people that didn't exist? Even when we first started this video, she said that she basically was it. Well, that's not true. There are people out there. You're just not allowed to talk to them.
In my record.
Let me just. Yes, it's Sandra. I've seen it.
Right. Is she corporate?
Let me just check it here also. She's a higher position specialist here on.
I need you to basically focus in on the word higher up, because that's going to come up repetitively.
I guess what I'm getting at, you didn't really answer my question. You just told me she's higher up than you. So, I mean, what I've learned now is that unicorns exist. You know what a unicorn is?
Not quite familiar with that.
Yeah, in America, a unicorn is a pony with a little horn on its head, right? Because they're mythical creatures. And so what we just said is there was nobody besides the case manager, but that's not true because, there is somebody beyond the case manager. It's just the customers can never get to them.
Bingo.
Sound reasonable?
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Yeah, look at that. That sounds reasonable. Holy shit. From the mouth of babes. She just comes out, levels up and says it. Hell yeah. And how do you think that makes me feel, Jeep? Yeah.
Exactly. So what I'm getting at, so now I'm just going to wrap this call up because I've got a few things. I sent in a letter last night to the Jeep case. Do you see that?
Let me just check it.
We're going to skip through this one. That was my manifesto from yesterday. The video, sent them the web link. They basically told me they never got it. They never do get anything. You can respond back to their customer service emails and they go in a black hole. They don't keep anything in the record. And this is the reason we had to make this stupid recording, is just if I have to go and share this with somebody, they can sit there and go, gee, Mr. Miller, it looks like you really are getting cornholed. So let's get through this.
Here, which is
Thank you.
Sure. You're welcome. Just to be sure, it to the higher department.
A reply from Jeep customer care. I even got a receipt that says thank you for responding to
This
Jeep.
is me sending it up.
They say I've sent something in. But unfortunately, none of my comments are getting attached to this case, it seems like. So how do I do that?
For this, for us to be able to see this also, you can also send an email back to us.
All right, so she's going to send me a new link.
You're welcome.
Send that to me and then
Map.
all right, to go get this Jeep. And if they would just pay me for that, I'd go get it.
Okay, now this is me getting into the meat of one of my really painful issues is like, we all know that they're shit. We all know that Jeep, I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're looking for the lowest bidder. They don't, and again, this is a contractual thing. I mean, number one, what do we know so far? I contracted to have that vehicle shipped back, but yet Jeep's got no timeline, no obligation, and no impetus to get that done, right? We know that they're going to give me the car payment that I had to, or the car rental at some point in this 2025 to shag me and the cat back over to Houston, Texas. And beyond that, we don't know anything. We're pretty much sure that they're just screwing us all the way to the bank. So if that's all they're giving me, well, then don't you think they should give it to me, right? And so this is what we're getting into right now.
Send an email so that you may be able to send that back.
Right. So I told Jeep if they reimbursed me, I'd go get my Jeep myself. I'd go the 11th out.
Yeah, keep in mind, I'm volunteering to go do their job. I'm willing to put the the $1,500 to buy the plane ticket to some little mountain town in northern Arizona, you know, the hotel stay, the fuel, to grab my Jeep and drive it all the way back to Houston, Texas, that 1,189 miles that they're contracted to do, but won't do it.
89 miles. I'd buy a plane ticket. I'd have to, I'd spend all day flying across the country to go get this Jeep. And if they would just pay me for that, I'd go get it myself, and we could.
And is that unreasonable? I mean, shit, if you won't do your job, at least you could pay me to do your job. I'll go do it for you. I'll take time off. You know, I'll be gone. I'll make it happen. And hey, you know, we could wrap this thing up.
We would just wrap this up.
Oh, hell, look at that.
I got told I was denied.
Denied.
Is that in the case?
After checking, it isn't showing here that you got denied since the request is still on the process.
Well, I offered to go get the Jeep because obviously you guys can't do it, which we're going to get to. But I offered to do your job for you. Not your job, I'm sorry, Jeep's job.
And to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, because it's still not shipped. And it's been, you know, I not the whole world celebrates Christmas, but I mean, you know, I allowed for that. Hell, I allowed for New Year's.
Yeah, get a load of that, man. They fixed it on December 20th. Now, I know we had Christmas. I know we had New Year's. But holy shit, since the 20th until, what's today right now, January 9th, nobody could pick up the effing phone, call a shipper and say, hey, do you guys drive those things called trucks? You know, do you got anything going to Texas? Yeah, I'm not even going to go down that shitty rabbit hole. I could really wind myself up. We're not going to do that. We're going to get back to this.
And all I asked for, ma'am, was a shipping date.
Go figure.
Have I gotten one of those yet?
Did I?
Not upon
No!
it's still not yet.
Get back to Sandra, the mythical supervisor unicorn.
Yeah, the supervisor.
I did talk to her, and I had a mental meltdown. When I say that I'm hateful, this is the nicest I've ever been to anybody at Jeep in the last month, right? I'm really trying not to ruin it. But I had a long conversation. I told her about all my grievances and that, God, you should be compensating me. You should be loving me. I'm a brand loyalist. I have a YouTube channel, WT6.
Yeah, a freaking YouTube channel, man, dedicated to the overland lifestyle, man. And I didn't want to be famous. I just wanted to go out there and share the Jeep joy with people. Show them what you could do. And believe me, I've been to every ass crack spot of North America in that Jeep. It's been glorious until it's not. If I had known any of this, if I had known this is the way I'd be treated, had I known that the warranty the dealership sold me wasn't worth the butt paper it was written on, I probably wouldn't be, guaranteed, wouldn't be sitting here today in this situation because I would have ran screaming the other direction. Let's get to it.
U.S. It's all about Jeep. Going out there, doing the Jeep life. And this is how Jeep treats me.
Yes, they do.
Right? So she says, Mr. I can't do it. That was Friday. I can't do anything for you right now. And I said, ma'am, I don't care.
Fair enough. And she did say that. And I'm not trying to roast Sandra either. I don't know her. She seemed pretty shocked when I laid it all on her, but she said she couldn't do anything on Friday. And I'm like, I don't need something on Friday. I just need something. So here's what happened.
That's not what this is about. I'm asking for people to treat me like a human being. Be honest with me. Start moving the process along. I said, it's cost me financially. It's cost me emotionally. I'm a wreck. Okay, great. So, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, no call. Do you see me calling in on Monday? In the record. Look up for Monday. Do you see me having made a call?
Yes, you did call back with us last Monday.
And what did I ask for?
What did I ask for?
You asked for the update. When will the vehicle be shipped?
Yeah, did I ask for somebody to call me back?
That's brilliant. And by the way, this is the crux of it. This is really what grinds my gears with any of this crap, is the total lack of accountability. They violate their own processes, as you'll hear in a minute. And all I want is someone to call me back and treat me like a person.
Your requesting for a supervisor, and you were
Supervisor.
unable to reach for a case manager.
I know. Thank you for the extra info. It wasn't required, but but that just helps me a little more. So Tuesday, I call in. What was my complaint?
It's the same. Asking for an update for the vehicle. When will it be going to?
Did anybody call me?
As for checking, no one called you back.
No, man, I'm winding this call up. I know you're probably tired of hearing me. Wednesday, I called back. Why?
Yeah, why? Why did I call back?
Why did I call in?
Because someone like the supervisor or the case manager is just calling you back with regards to the
Monday, no call. Tuesday, no call. Wednesday, no call. Keep listening to this.
What's today? Today's Thursday, right?
yes.
Okay, so here we are on the phone Thursday. And as of today, do you see any notes in the case record that says anybody, management, corporate, unicorn, has called me?
None.
Okay.
None.
What did she say? She none? None? 4 frickin' times. I'm just asking for to be acknowledged, and she says none.
So let me ask you, for the record, I'm making some audio notes here. For the record, is that Jeep's policy?
No, definitely.
Hear that? It ain't Jeep's policy. Jeep loves you. Jeep respects you. Jeep wants you to be part of the family. That's not our policy. Let's continue listening.
Can you state clearly what is Jeep's policy?
This is key critical, because the thing is, it's one thing if they do something wrong and they don't realize they're doing it wrong. It's a complete difference when they actually have a policy, they know the policy, and they continue to violate the policy. So here you go.
For the policy of the Jeep, it was for the convenience of
No. What's the escalation policy? I've escalated 4 times. What's that? Normally when you escalate once, what's the policy? What do you guys always tell me?
How long
did that have to get back to me?
A case manager?
Yeah, how
That a
long?
case manager will get back to you.
How long?
For 1 business day.
Great. So how many business days has it been?
It's been like 4 days or 3 days already that no one called you back about
And
this.
according to our conversation, you've just verified that no one's bothered to call me. Right?
That is correct.
Okay.
Oh my God, that is correct. Gee, Mr. Miller, you followed the policy. You worked inside our processes. And by the way, we've just screwed you because we violated our own processes and policies.
Question, usually the call agent goes something like this. If someone's not doing their job and you're basically sending a chatter message or a chat message to somebody and they're not responding, how do I escalate that? And what's the answer? What's the standard call center answer?
For this, if no one's responding to you or calling you back, what we do is to notify the case manager, and perhaps for what mostly we do is to try to reach out to them directly, informing them that the customer has been waiting for them to call them back with regards to their case that is already forwarded to them.
Right. Do you see the problem here? Do you understand what the problem is, ma'am?
Yeah, I do.
What is the problem right now?
And so she tells me she actually understands the problem, but I'm going to press the issue a little bit just so that it's out on record.
That a case manager or a supervisor isn't calling you back with regards to this, that
Right.
it takes
Hang on.
for long.
Thank you. And then your process is to do what? Keep calling them to say call, right? That's it. So you raise
Yes.
you raise it with you tell the case manager, you escalate to the case manager, say please call the customer. Case manager doesn't do their job. It's been days and days. No one's talking to the customer. He's called in every day, and you guys just keep notifying the case manager to call. Is that correct?
And we also inform the leads or like our supervisor to escalate this to a higher.
So, I mean, and we're going to continue this because this call's almost done. But you can see that it's just it's a dead loop here. They're telling their leads, they're talking to their higher ups, and then basically no one gives three shits is what it is. They don't get off their butts. They don't. I mean, the communication is appalling, and you'll see.
Department informing them that a case manager isn't responding.
But you've done that. What can I ask you this? You've done that 4 times already, correct? Just this.
Yes, that is correct.
And so, don't you think maybe something's not working? Is that
it's really not working here on our end.
Okay.
Exactly. She even admits it's really not working on our end, but it gets better. You just can't make this up.
Manager is
okay, and this is where this conversation is going to wind out. So if you know something's not working and you can see in the record something's broke, what is Jeep doing about that to fix it?
Maybe they're just working on another case about another customer. That's why it's like they're not prioritizing this. That is why we really apologize for that, and what we can do about this is to.
Okay, so what you're telling me is just because they're busy, there's no communication. There's not even. Do you see any emails to me?
And love this. Think about that. No freaking phone calls and no freaking email. I email them, nothing back. I have a freaking email record from me emailing them in my outbox. Listen to this.
No, that came from.
Hang on.
Apologize for that, and what we can do about this is to.
Okay, so what you're telling me is just because they're busy, there's no communication. There's not even. Do you see any emails to me?
No, that came from.
So you got no phone calls and no emails, and the process. I would say, and this is my personal opinion as a Jeep customer so far, the system is designed to keep me from getting to a manager. That's what you guys do.
Yeah. So this is the crux of it, and this is kind of the meat of what we're getting to, because that's exactly what the system's designed for. No one wants to, see this ugly face up in their eardrums, right? No one wants. Basically, I'm holding people accountable, and they can't take that. It's not going to happen. So basically, the way Jeep beats their customers down and wins is just by doing nothing.
Gatekeepers. It's just simply, we're going to raise the case. We're going to raise your complaint or your need to a case manager. Case manager is too busy. They can't get back to me. I call you back. And this is it's basically what they call a dead feedback loop. Nothing gets done. So let's close out this whole entire conversation and get back to the brass tacks. My Jeep, I want it back.
Really?
Right? How long is Jeep allowed to drag this out? You may not be able to do that. Sure, okay, but I'm just going to ask you, is it Jeep's policy to drag this out forever?
No.
No.
You must have an update.
Yeah.
If it will be taking a long time to have the Jeep back, or like.
Yeah, meanwhile, no one's emailing. And she's basically laid it out and verified it, validated me in a way that there's been no phone communication and there's absolutely no record of emails. And, and for a massive chunk of this time frame. So let's get through this, and that way we can get this video posted, and you know what, everybody can make up their own decisions.
What is the update, if it is already fixed and if it is ready for shipping already?
It's ready. It's been ready since the 20th of December. So I'm asking you, how long does, if you look, I feel bad for you in a little bit because I know you're just the mouthpiece for Jeep right here. But my problem is simply this. Your supervisors, the case manager, no one is coming back to me and saying, Mr. Miller, we're really sorry. We're sorry we cornholed you, okay? We know that it's been 6 months plus now for this entire incident. And, oh, by the way, you know what? We can't ship your Jeep back for 3 months, but here's a shipping date. No one's even said that. No one, ma'am, has said anything. It's just limbo forever. And so legally, is Jeep? So let me ask you a question: is Jeep doing me a favor, or is this under contract?
For this is still under contract as.
And that's the key freaking takeaway from this whole conversation. No one's doing me a favor. It's under contract. They need to fulfill the contract, and she can't tell me when they're going to fulfill the contract. It's because it's up to Jeep's. It's Jeep's prerogative to do the needful or the right thing whenever they can do it.
I was checking here that there aren't any information that Jeep update here on our end, so it's still not
So hang on.
the Jeep.
I just want, for the record, I just want to state that this process, the shipping process, is contractual. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so
That's
does Jeep
correct.
just get to screw off and not do the contract? I mean, what are the what's the fallout from this? How do you get Jeep to honor the contract?
For this case, what we will do is to inform the other department instead of the case manager with regards to this prioritizing the case.
Notice the other department. There's never a name. You don't know who you're talking to. It's just some black hole.
It's been taking so long so that we can get a hold of the dealership and the Jeep with regards to shipping the vehicle to you as the fastest time that we could.
Here's the magic thing that everybody over in that India call center just blows their mind, right? Can you give me a timeline? Can you give me a date? Is that going to happen this week? Next week? A week from now? Does anybody over there know?
For this, we can't provide that since we're going to still update them. But I like to contact them and to expedite everything. So we can't give you an answer as of right now since once I have documented all of the things that you mentioned me to have on the case.
Hang on.
Then we will then.
I want to point something out to you, right? How many times has this been escalated?
It's been since it's like 4 times already.
How many times?
4 times already.
4 times
It's been 4 times escalated.
in a week.
Because I was nice. I waited until the Jeep got fixed, right? Because you guys can't do anything if it's not fixed.
Or until the
December
20th.
Man.
Yeah,
I waited
20th.
all the way up until January 3rd. So in that time, no one called me. No one wants to deal with me. And I've escalated this case 4 times, and you've just told out loud that no one's bothered to contact me. So you're going to escalate it again for the 5th time?
What I can do is to inform the available supervisor here at our end, and then to escalate it to a higher department rather than the case manager, so that this will be escalated to a higher department than the case manager, so that there will be an update with regards to your concern.
Well, the Sandra woman that's in this case, she is higher than the case manager. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is right.
Okay, so how many times has it gone to her now? How many?
As per checking, it's been 2 times already.
Okay, so 2 times just to her. And if we go back through this thing, you can see how many times I've asked to talk to the case manager. And that woman is just a ghost. So I guess we're going to wrap up the call now. And what I'm trying to ask you is, can you give me a definitive time frame, like on Friday, between the hours of this hour and hours of that hour, that someone, John Miller, is going to call you and at least get a shipping date on the calendar, or tell you that we hate you, John Miller, we don't love you as a customer, and go get your own Jeep. Which one is it? Can you give me a time frame that someone's going to get back to me?
For this case, what I can assure is that once the case has already been forwarded, you can wait within 1 business day to have the call back.
Right, and you guys don't work on the weekends, do you?
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay, so basically tomorrow, and this is what I just want you to make sure this is very clear. There's no penalty, is there, when somebody doesn't call back?
Yeah, this is that whole accountability thing. Let's listen to this.
And there, yes,
I mean,
there is no penalty with us.
can you say that again, please? There is no penalty, is there?
Mm-hmm. There is no penalty.
There is no penalty. She'll go down and say that your scores will suffer a little bit later at the call center, but overall, there's no penalty when they just decide not to do their job.
So you can.
With regards to that.
So what you're telling me is you can tell me whatever you want, but I may never get a call because there's no penalty.
For that, since there is a different process for the case manager, so for us, what the policies are, if you weren't able to call back the customer, it will be a performance. It is a bad performance for us.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you guys are dying right now because this has been going on forever. Right? No one talks, no one calls, and you still can't give me a shipping date. No one knows when my Jeep's coming back to me. And the last thing will end with simply this. Am I allowed to go get my Jeep?
Mm-hmm.
Can I buy a plane
for this,
and get it?
Can you repeat the question, Mr. Miller?
Am I allowed to buy a plane ticket and do Jeep's job for them and go get my Jeep and get compensated for it?
Simon says.
In this case, it's still for approval with regards to the for the higher ups that will be forwarded.
The higher ups.
Is there any way to get to those? Any way for me to talk directly to the higher ups?
For this, I'll just have to first is to ask for the supervisor.
I'm not asking you to do something. I'm asking, is there any way for a higher up to get on this phone and work this out in a reasonable time frame?
Yeah, and is that so unreasonable for me to ask, right? I mean, hell, it's only been, if we want to count the whole entire incident, 7 months since I've had this case open, and yet I've never once talked to a higher up. Those mythical beings that are out there that actually work for Jeep Corporate that can do things for you and make decisions and not keep you in limbo for the rest of your life. And here's what I'm told.
They may call you back once the concern has been forwarded, so that they can directly call you. But however, I cannot do a transfer like right now, since we still need to verify and review all of the documents here on our end, so that once the higher ups are already
higher ups,
we're already in touch with them, we can move on and they can
it's like something out of the Matrix.
Is there any record of the higher ups?
Oh yeah, hang on, let's back this up. Now this one and we are almost done with this call, but I really need, okay, remember, I've called in, I've escalated, I've begged, I've cried, I've pleaded, there's no communication, no one's calling me, and I've been on this phone month after month trying to resolve this thing, and guess what? Listen to this, man. This just takes the effing cake. And Jeep Corporate, if you ever see this, you need to fix it.
The concern has been forwarded. So once as for this,
handling this case,
not at this.
Hang on.
With.
It will end with simply this. Am I allowed to go get my Jeep?
Can't do that.
For the higher ups,
Here you
that will be forwarding the case.
Is there any way to get to those? Any way for me to talk directly to the hotline?
They may call you back the documents here on our end. So
okay,
that,
so we're trying to get this. I messed up.
Higher ups are already, we're already in touch with them.
I want to be a higher
we
up. Can
move on and they can then handle the case.
Pet the cat.
Is there any record of the higher ups
any
doing anything?
record?
As for this on the record, there aren't any other higher ups than the one that you mentioned, Sandra, which is
so hang on.
there's still.
No, man, you can just say yes or no. So basically, you have no. Are you seeing any activity from the higher ups handling this case?
Not at this moment.
Not at this moment, Mr. Miller. After all the crap we just went through, this is like the coup de grace of this entire video. I've gone through it all. I've laid it all out. I've contacted. I've cried. I've gone through their process. I've worked the system the way they want me to work it. And nobody, even after escalating 4 or 5 times, no one, no activity in the record whatsoever. What does that tell you, Jeep customer service? Jeep corporate? Jeep marketing? Jeep the people that took my money? What does that tell you? Do you think that makes me want to do YouTube videos in your name? Let's finish this up.
Okay. So not at this moment, and you know that I've called in just this week alone 4 times, and yet nobody's doing it.
Yes, that is correct.
So I'm asking, do you think that's a problem?
That's probably not a fair question.
Yes, it's still our problem since
And
things
this is why
hasn't been resolved.
Is there any way for me to get to the higher ups? And I think you told me no. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So you're it.
So there you go. And that's really where we can end this video. You know, there is no way to get to the higher ups. I'm the gatekeeper. You got to go through me. I've escalated. I've done all this. I'm on your behalf. I look in the record and there's nobody doing anything. Jeep, corporate, marketing, bullshit. You know what? I think we're going to finish off with just a little bit more. We're pretty much done with this. I got like 2 minutes left. I don't want to bore you, so as soon as I say goodbye to her, we'll hang up, we'll finish this video, and you all can have a good time.
I'll call you back.
All right, so all you can do is throw a Hail Mary over the fence and pray that someone calls me in the next month.
What I can do, what I can assure you is that once I have documented all of this,
Assure me.
to a supervisor to have this.
Going to escalate to a supervisor again.
To higher ups than
Going to a higher up.
Manager.
Okay, we'll make sure that,
So that
this is what, call number 5? Because I'm going to call back tomorrow. I'm just telling you right now.
Yeah, tomorrow will be another day.
I will call you every day of every week from now until the end of time, until someone talks to me and treats me like a human being. You will escalate this thing every single day. I mean, is that unreasonable?
that is unreasonable since.
All right, so we're just going to go ahead and end it right there. It's giving me a freaking pain in my side. I can't even tell you how much it's annoying me. So, but that's the gist, all right? And again, I had to make this video. I didn't want, people thinking I was smoking crack or had developed a cocaine habit or, doing an 8-ball of heroin or something, and I just became a drug addict and I'm non-desirable and whatever. I didn't make this up. This is my interaction with Jeep customer care. I really hope that yours doesn't go this way because they are just really horrible, horrible, horrible institution. And nobody from Jeep, nobody has reached out to me except that Sandra woman. And that was on last Friday. And I think she probably got scared and ran away. I have no idea. But I'm still waiting for my Jeep. I'll probably going to end up going getting it. But then, of course, Jeep wins. Because, they did nothing and they forced my hand. And I'll have to reach in my piggy bank with money I don't exactly have to go fix a problem that I bought, with the Jeep. So anyway, I hope you liked the video. I hope it was informative. And please, for the love of God, Jeep channels, all you guys out there, I watch your videos, Light Bright, KC250, Bleepin', Jeep, you name it. I watch them all. And, I really, I'm down for the Jeep community, but I'm telling you that, guys, besides your viewership, your likes, or whatever it is that you've got going and your money you're making with your video, I want people out there telling the truth. I want you to tell people what they can expect from Jeep customer care, okay? Because if you go out and buy a Jeep and you're expecting to get cornholed, wanting to get cornholed, that's a whole nother ball of wax. It's totally different when you sign up for Jeep, you drink the Kool-Aid, you sign the contracts, you get the warranties, and you find out that's what you find out later on. And it's costing thousands of dollars. And, there's been multiple class actions that I didn't go look up. That's my fault for the eco diesels. If you go on the internet and search class actions, there's been a crap ton of them. And right now, I'm just basically trying to hold my shit together. I'm stuck with this Jeep. And that's what it is. And right now, no matter how bad it is, it's mine. And they need to send it back. Anyway, thanks, guys. Like, subscribe, share. I'll put this out on Twitter, Insta crap, whatever it is. I'm not really a social media cat. If anybody watches this and they can help me post this out, please do, because I'm a social media retard. Anyway, thank you.